Hey, it's Marie and welcome to another episode of Friday Sews. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about my making of these shorts. This is, ta-da, the Pietra pant by Closet Core Pattern Company. I'll chat a little bit about my experience and the details sewing these great and comfortable shorts. And also, I have a fun lookbook for you. So I hope you'll stick around and we'll see ya in the sewing room. And let's have a little quick chat about the Pietra pants, or shorts in my case, because I haven't made the pants yet. So in a prior video, I talked a little bit about my fabric choice, which is a linen blend. It's 85% viscose and 15% linen. And others suggested fabrics. Let me see, I have all my little notes here, and now of course I can't find what I'm looking for. So it's on the back actually. So it suggests linen chambray or lightweight denim and or twill. Heavyweight wovens might create too much volume at the waist, and I would agree because you are using a 2-inch size elastic band in the back. And even that linen that was mid to lightweight really started to bunch up. And it says for a swishy, glamorous look, use rayon, challis, tencel, or silk. Now, Whit Makes, I watched her video and she made the pants in a twill and she loved them. And then I watched the video with, I think it's Karena, Lifting Pins and Needles, who made hers, I believe, in a linen, a red linen. So, and there's so many videos out there of these makes. Lorraine Guthrie from Guthrie and Gani featured this. Again, it's probably a year back. I'm late to the party. I just got this. There's so many great videos on this pattern. So that was my choice. I wanted to try it with a moderately priced linen blend before I made a commitment on a higher end fabric. And I love the feel of those. They drape nicely, so I'm pleased with the choice, and I'm also pleased with the color. Let's go to the book. So I wanted to talk about, this is an important one. It's on page 2 if you're considering this pattern, or if you haven't and you haven't sewed it yet. You need to look at the finished garment measurements in addition to the size chart for the ease, because the pants, the version A, which is the wide leg, versus the B, which is the taper leg, and then the C, which is the short version, all of the ease measurements are different in the hip. So in noting that, you might be careful if you are cutting, let's say, the shorts. You might want to trace that pattern out because you might be a different size in the pants. So I luckily read it pretty thoroughly and I was able to save the pattern, and I'm definitely 2 different sizes. One in the shorts based on ease, and a different size in the pants based on the ease and how the hips are going to fit, if that makes sense. I think I cut a size too big in these. I cut a 12 and I probably should have went down a size. I think there were a couple other YouTubers, sewists, that also had mentioned they cut maybe one size too big, and in the next make they plan on going down. I just wanted to err on the side of caution. I tend to make things too big and I'm always taking them in, but I feel like if you cut into your fabric and sew something and it's too small, what are you gonna do? You've wasted the time, energy in that fabric. So I erred on the side of caution. They're comfy and cozy, you know, it is what it is as far as that goes. But I feel that the size charts are very detailed, and I was very appreciative of that information. What I really liked about this booklet is that there's so many really good, there's terminology, sewing terminology and definitions for a new sewist, and even a seasoned veteran can benefit from a quick review. It's really thoughtfully planned out. And there is a pants fitting ebook that they guide you to. The company gives you their website address, they give you their password, they tell you to go to the resource library, and that's fantastic. So if you feel that you're struggling, or you're a little nervous about sewing pants, this is a great resource library. I would definitely recommend it. I actually went there just to check it out regarding the pants or the pockets. So before I talk about that, on page 11, I loved that they talk about the sewing techniques, the finishing techniques, and the details to me were just divine. I can't think of another word. I mean, I love detailed finishes. That is so important as a garment sewist. The inside of your garment should look professional and finished. And I think overall it helps to increase the longevity of that garment. When seams are finished and it's polished, it's easier to iron. It just makes for a good make. So I loved that they are showing how to sew a French seam at step by step. It's fantastic. So again, that's on page 11. I really, again, I would recommend, if you're starting this the first time, to really go through and read and highlight and circle and underline, so that you have that confidence going into making this pant or short. The pockets, assembling the pockets, is on page 13. Very detailed. I went to the resource library because a lot of people, I guess, had contacted the company and were confused by the construction. It's genius. It really is a well-planned garment. But I wanted to go there because, and I'm looking back behind me at the shorts, I actually increased the inseam. So going back to the inseam measurement for the shorts, they were 4 inches. Again, Karena talks about that. She also increased them. We have kind of more like Bermuda short style. You'll see in the lookbook. Mine are longer. I might sew up a little shorter version, we'll see, but I increased the inseam. It was 4 inches, and I increased it by a good 3.5 plus inches. So when I measured the final inseam with the finished hem, it was at 8.25 inches. And those of you that are on the metric system, let me just check really quick. My inseam is about 20.5 centimeters. So, I mean, I doubled it. So, I used to wear short shorts. I'm more modest, I guess, and as I've gotten older, but it's a comfort level, and they looked great I love the short version. I love the longer version of the shorts. Anyway, so I wanted to be clear on the pocket construction because I knew that I adjusted the length. I wanted to understand, based on these visuals, that I needed to make some adjustments. So that's something to note, that if you're making adjustments in length, you definitely, with the shorts, that is, not necessarily the pants, you need to account for the adjustment in two pieces on that pattern. There we go. The first one being, there are pieces, the pocket is piece J and the side front is I. So I noted that I matched the notches of those pieces, J and I, to K, the center front, to determine how long the adjustment in length. So it's not like an automatic, oh, I adjusted the inseam 3 inches, I'm gonna lengthen everything else 3 inches. No, it's important that you match those notches, and then that will guide you. It'll make sense if you have the pattern and you can look at the pieces. So I'm hoping that I'm not too vague, but you know, I can't show the pieces, and this is copyrighted information, and they have all of the information on their website. It's just my personal experience, and it wasn't difficult. It was kind of, I think in that case, my sewing knowledge, having some basic understanding, I knew I needed to be careful and understand the pieces and how they fit together. So that's what I have to say basically about that. What else? Going back to the pattern rise, front and back, for the size I cut, the back I only adjusted about 1/4 inch shorter, but it was the front that I had to make a big adjustment. The rise of back and front there was only an inch difference in this pattern. I went to another source that does denim jeans, and the source was WH Ranch Dungarees, and they basically said that generally, this is just generally, that the back rise measurement is usually 3 inches greater than the front rise. So when I looked at mine, it made sense, because at first initially I was like, oh my gosh, is that really accurate? Because I adjusted the front rise a good 2.5 inches shorter than what was on the pattern. And I started to question my own measurements, but no, it made sense. It kind of affirmed that for me. And then when I sewed the pattern, it fit comfortably in the front and back rise. I didn't feel it was pulling, it wasn't too low, so I was like, thank goodness I took the measurements. Now, a little tip for you on that. Go to this lovely tape measure. I got this tape measure at Sew Expo, not this year it was virtual, but last year I had the opportunity to attend, and this is a tape measure that is designed by Lorraine Henry. I should remember her name. I met her. I have a picture of me and her. It's on my Instagram. What a beautiful, lovely lady she is, and I believe she lives in Utah. And I took one of her fit classes. I think she was covering in that particular class shoulder adjustments and full bust adjustments and some things that I just wanted a general understanding. But she was selling these, and I'm glad that I got this. I'm really glad that I got this. So on one side of the tape measure is our inches, and then on the flip side is the metric system, so it's the in centimeters, and there is a 0 point in the middle of the tape measure. So this is a great tape measure for measuring your front and back rise and the crotch measurement. So you would just center this. You can also take an existing pair of pants that fit you properly, and then you will, you want to mark your natural waistline with elastic. Elastic, make sure that it's adhered so that it doesn't fall or move, and then you just, take a good measurement. Maybe put on a pair of tights or leggings, something close fitting to the body, and then you just center the 0 point, and then you can get your front rise and your back rise. And this was accurate. This is basically what I used to determine that. I also used I measured a couple of existing pair of shorts and things that I felt fit me well, that were ready to wear garments from the fashion industry, and it worked. So that's my commentary on the Pietra pattern by Closet Core Pattern Company. I hope that if you have this pattern in your stash, you'll consider sewing them. And my next to do is to make the pants. I think I want to go with the flared version. It looks so comfortable, and I have a beautiful 100% natural linen picked out for those. And then you'll see behind me, I am working on this linen dress that I haven't finished. This is the Sasha McCall's that I had made, the red rayon challis for Mother's Day. And this one is a linen and cotton, and I'm actually trying to make this reversible. Initially, this cotton was gonna just be the inside lining, and I like the look of it. And then the inside is just a creamy white linen. So I'm working on trying to find the buttons for the perfect buttons for this, because I want to sew the button version of that. So that's kind of put me on hold. Got a few buttons picked out and not convinced that they're the right ones. So we'll see. Hopefully by the next video I'll have this done and I can model it and show it to you. But anyway, I hope you stay tuned. It was a little bit of a long ramble about the pattern, but I have a fun lookbook for you with different ways and that you can wear a simple pair of shorts. In this case, it's the Pietra shorts, and just a variety of ways. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the lookbook, and I'll see you next time in the sewing room. Ciao. Mwah.